hour is here.
Check it out.
And you're locked on to Utah's highest rated, most listened to sports radio station.
It's my station. It's my station.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Let's get it, folks.
Holy moly. We are getting so close to Utah, UCLA.
Yes.
And
What?
BYU Stanford.
Yes.
In 2 weeks.
Remember, today marks the first of every Wednesday BYU Cougar Insider podcast.
We are going to be talking a lot about the BYU Cougars and very little about Portland State.
Yes.
The opponent will not hardly get referenced in the
Although, did
Cougar preview show.
anybody make a phone call for Barney, Coach Barney, at Portland State? Oh, that guy listens to he's a Salt Lake Sports Radio.
Oh, is he really?
Guy. He loves when he was at Idaho State. He would listen to the stations all the time.
Well, I'd actually love to get him on because I'd love to know which quarterback he's going to go with.
And he's our kind of guy. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Just
He likes his parties.
well, he did have a promotion once where he was going to buy beer for everybody who showed up to a game.
Great concept. Oh, that was him?
Yeah.
Was that with Portland State?
Yep.
Oh, man, we should try to get this guy on.
That's our guy.
Oh, yeah, he's our guy. We love him.
Yeah.
He came on the ship with us.
Yes.
Is what he's done. I just want to know what quarterback he's going to go with because he played 3 in the opener against Tarleton.
Yeah.
He played Gabe Downing. Gabe went 10 of 17 for 91 yards and 3 interceptions. Tyrese Smith went 2 of 4 for 21 yards and an interception. And then he played John Sagapoulo Tile.
Nailed it.
I was waiting for Lloyd to jump in there.
And he went 6 of 14 for 57 yards and an interception. So a lot of interceptions thrown. I think he was looking for one of the quarterbacks to not throw an interception and could not find one.
Yeah.
A lot of turnovers, 3 picks. There was a fumble given up. So it's like, all right, well, what running back do you want to go with? Well, let's find the one that doesn't fumble. Portland State is a pretty rough opening opponent. But when you're starting a true freshman quarterback, which, by the way, did you see Michigan announce that they're going with a true freshman?
Yeah. I mean, well, geez, they gave him, he's the highest paid quarterback in college football.
Yeah.
They give him $4 million. Those boosters like, yeah, you're going to play him.
You're going to play him, and he's better play well.
Yeah.
Because we're paying him big-time bucks. But I still think it's interesting. I mean, Michigan starting out a season with a true freshman, that's a storyline. And it's like, okay, well, maybe BYU isn't completely off their rocker. See, a lot of people are doing it. Everybody's starting true freshmen. It's happening all over the country.
Yeah. Well, it's because these kids are getting paid to come, and now you've got boosters out there saying, guess what? This kid's driving around campus in a Maserati that I essentially paid for. There's no way you're using a redshirt year on him.
Yeah.
Get him on the field. And I was reading a story in The Athletic today about what these kids are spending their money on.
I saw that.
Oh, jeez.
I saw that. Oh, I can promise you that we would have been pure trouble.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You think of me, Scotty, Carlos, Sean, like you think about like me and my buddies.
Yeah.
If we'd had money when we were in college, it'd have been horrible. It'd have been a debacle. Now, Scotty might have kept us grounded and been like, hey, guys, maybe we should buy some land right here at the point of the mountain.
He's like, hey, look, have you seen this? There's this little company called Amazon. I think we should drop some of that money in.
Hey, Hans, Apple isn't just something that makes you fat. You can actually purchase shares and do, yeah, Scotty would have grounded us out a bit, but he still would have been like, maybe we should get that crazy boat. Maybe we should get a houseboat, buy a little parcel down at the lake.
Yeah.
It's like, man, we would have spent money on some of the dumbest things. I'd have had 5 dogs.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have had 5 dogs, probably all English and French bulldogs. Yeah.
Did you see, was there I saw a funny video about. Did I send that to you?
You sent it to me.
Oh yeah.
The guy was drying off the bulldog. Yeah, the bulldogs are hilarious, man. They don't know, Scotty. Just big dumb animals. They don't know.
I want one so bad.
Yeah, they're fun.
That's the only dog I really want.
They're really a fun
As
dog.
a Frenchie or just an English
They're just
bulldog.
so chill. They'll just hang out with you. They don't really want to exercise.
No, same.
And they want to eat whatever you're eating. It's like, oh, that looks like a nice Swiss Miss. How about I get one of those Swiss rolls?
Yeah.
And then you got to break the chocolate off. You can't get them chocolate, but I love them. Michigan and the true freshman opening up against New Mexico on Saturday. It's a good opener for a true freshman.
Yeah.
I think New Mexico's going to be in a little bit of trouble.
You lose your AD, you lose your basketball coach, you lose your football coach. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough to come back from.
But then Michigan goes straight to Oklahoma game 2.
Yeah.
So, hey, true freshman, here's a nice warm-up in your own stadium, the comfort of your own locker room. Oh, and then, by the way, we're going to the most heated rivalry in all of college football.
I did like New Mexico, by the way, and you met the SID, Frank, from New Mexico when we were down at Mountain West Conference Media Day.
Dude.
Really funny dude.
Yeah.
Well, they in their game notes that they released yesterday, because Michigan did not release a two deep, they sent out this tweet that goes, for all you Michigan media that aren't able to get your own two deep, well, here's ours.
Oh,
whatever you need to know, just let us know.
I love that. That's creative. Well, I hope New Mexico puts up a good show. It's just going to be tough. But game 2 is going to be great. It makes me think, how quickly, or can you even teach a true freshman what a rivalry is all about? Like how long until Bear Bachmeier figures it out that, was it game 8, Utah?
Yeah, probably about that.
Somewhere in there?
Yeah.
How long until Bear Bachmeier figures it out? He's got to be hearing it now because, I'm sure Kalani still does this. We used to do rivalry prep at some point in camp. We'd at least take a look at some of the news and notes, and you'd kind of open your ear, and there was an awareness about what your rival was doing. So I've got to imagine Kalani's doing that with Bear Bachmeier.
I would think so. I absolutely would think so. All right, Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, it's Utah and UCLA coming up on Saturday. And joining us now, play-by-play voice of the UCLA Bruins, Josh Lewin, kind enough to join us. Josh, how you doing?
Hey, Josh.
Good, fellas. What's up in Salt Lake today?
Not much. I think the last time we talked, I was doing the play-by-play for Utah State, and UCLA had just put up a pretty impressive score in that game. So thanks for those memories. That was great.
Yeah, well, then we turned around and got it handed to us by Tennessee. So
Yeah.
it all evens out.
It all evens out. Hey, what is your impression of the quarterback trade that went on there, and how well do you think he's made his acclimation there to Southern California?
Yeah, I mean, it's a return home for Nico, and I would think that puts him in a good frame of mind. He's certainly talented. I mean, that much we know. I don't know that he's really upgraded from what he had at Tennessee in terms of a squadron of receivers. I think that is kind of I don't want to say a weak link or anything like that, but it's not a strength, the depth of the receivers group at UCLA. But this guy's an NFL talent. There's no question about that. It's nice to have him.
So how much rebuilding has there been in this roster through the offseason?
Oh, just an insane amount. I mean, there's 57 new players. There's 8 new coaches. It's unrecognizable. And they're not the only ones, right? I mean, that's just kind of where college football is today, and college basketball too. It's the whole, you can't tell the players without a scorecard cliche from all those decades ago. They don't even sell scorecards anymore, but you really do kind of need one because it's just, everything changes. So I think we're all used to that, right? No matter what team you're supporting. Yeah, I mean, Utah is dealing with a lot of the same. At least you guys are bringing back your entire O-line. We're bringing back like 2 guys. So, I always think that's a big one if you can bring back your trenches people. But, it's been essentially 19 new starters out of 22. So it's a big unknown.
Josh Lewin, play-by-play voice of UCLA, kind enough to join us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. What are reasonable expectations for this year's team, or is that an impossible question to answer?
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I feel like I'm punting this football way down the field every time I get asked a question, but it's just such a big I don't know because we've never seen these players work together and don't really even know the level of the competition they're playing sometimes. So, it looks like a better team than 5-7 a year ago, but I mean, there are just so many X factors, and I don't think anybody's really thinking much better than 7-5 or 8-4. I think there are some cynics that would say it's closer to 4-8 or 5-7, but it's it's a work in progress, like they say, and then we'll know a lot more when they play a quality opponent like Utah on Saturday night. If they win that game by a couple touchdowns, everybody's thinking, okay, it's going to be a good year. If they lose by a couple touchdowns, then it's 4-8.
Really, we are expecting this to be a good Utah team and to rebound from where it was last year. And I think they put a lot of trust and faith into Jason Beck, the new offensive coordinator. But this defense should be their staple. It really should be able to help anchor this team. And I'm curious, your impressions of Tino Sinceri since he's arrived, any indications of what style offense he might run, and if it's something he's done in the past, and just your expectations of Tino?
Yeah, he wants to go fast, and I think we all appreciate that. I mean, things were kind of slowed down, got a little too overthought with Eric Bieniemy last year, and he's moved on and found a nice NFL gig, and that's great. But it seems like it's a little simpler modality, and I think people are excited about that, just to let the quarterback go and be the quarterback, and let the running backs not overcomplicate things and just follow their blocks and go. So, Indiana averaged 41.5 points a game last year. UCLA averaged 18. So if it's somewhere in between those two, and Tino's the difference, and that's great.
You're on a every other game schedule, home and away. You've got Northwestern on the road, Michigan State, Indiana, Ohio State on the road this year. Have you gotten yourself acclimated to the life in the Big Ten and the travel that comes with it?
Yeah, it's kind of what you guys are dealing with, with Utah going to the Big 12. It just feels different, and you got to roll with it. Having 1 year under your belt makes it a little less weird. Those trips last year to places like Piscataway, New Jersey, just felt so out of body because what the hell are we doing out here? This isn't Pac-12. It doesn't even feel like Big Ten. But once you kind of put it in your system that this is where you live now and this is what you're doing, it's fine. Had a great time going to places like Nebraska last year and seeing that kind of fever that you don't frankly get at some of those Pac-12 schools. You go to I don't mean to pick on Washington State, but I'll pick on Washington State. Pullman's just not the same experience as if you go to Ann Arbor. So, this year they go to Ohio State. That'll be fun. And, some of these other trips, Michigan State, personally, I've seen it. I went to Northwestern as an undergrad, so I'm a Big Ten guy myself, so I like it. But I understand if you grow up in L.A., there's just not a lot of pomp and circumstance about, hey, wow, we're playing Wisconsin.
So I'm just curious. We've been watching in the Big 12. We see, TCU comes up with all these bucks. Texas Tech is spending like crazy. Kansas gets a $300 million donation. BYU spending like crazy, trying to compete. I want to know your overall sense from the powers that be of UCLA inside the Big Ten. Do you feel like they're all in? Do you feel like UCLA is all in and ready to be a big boy in the Big Ten Conference?
Well, they're getting there. I mean, they know that the ante's been raised, and they're in LA. So as Deshaun Foster famously said at the press conference a year ago, they've got to be in with both feet. And it is expensive. The price of poker's gone up, but the payoff is much bigger. So. They're starting to invest in what they need to invest in. I hope that keeps building, but it's a process again. This is just a whole new world that we're all in. Embracing NIL and just the thought of paying a quarterback $1 million and a point guard for your basketball team $1 million. It's just. We're getting used to it. I'll put it that way. I think we all are, but it's just always going to be, for some of us purists, it's just a little weird.
How's the UCLA natives? How are they with Deshaun Foster at this moment?
I think everybody's cool. I mean, he definitely has some local street cred because he, obviously played well at the university, and it's not like he wiped out last year. He wasn't 2-10. He was 5-7, and they finished strong. So there's some feel good, but it's not like he's completely won over the population. And as we always seem to talk about, LA is just such a different animal because there's 11 pro teams, and there's USC, and there's the beach, and you just got a lot of competitions for anything you're trying to get accomplished. And I think Deshaun knows that, and the best way to get people attached to you is to come out 3-0 or 4-0 or 5-0, and then people start paying attention.
So Kyle Whittingham had his presser on Monday, only mentioned one player by number, not by name, but by number. He was asked, what are you seeing on film? What stands out to you? And he said number 58. Now, I happen to know 58 is Gary Smith, and very good. But give us your thoughts on Gary Smith, and then give us one or two other players that you're expecting Utah fans to get familiar with here in a few days.
Yeah, on defense, it's funny. I mean, and I agree. I mean, Gary Smith he's a nice player, but I don't know what he's got the potential to be because we haven't seen him on the field in forever. He was hurt all of last year, and same for the tight end, Hudson Habermill. He's a guy that looks like he could be the next Greg Dulcich, who was a 0-star prospect, arrived at UCLA, and now he's an NFL, very serviceable NFL tight end. So, but yeah, other than Iamaleava, there's really not that one guy that you're like, oh, I must watch this guy because he's going to really be something. Mikey Matthews, you guys are familiar with, a decent enough slot receiver. That's fine. Maybe he's ready to break out, and maybe Jet Thomas, same thing. We'll be ready to break out, and that's guys that the Utah fans already know. But yeah, other than the quarterback who's 6'6" and tough to miss, it really is just kind of a patchwork quilt, and we're going to see if anybody steps forward.
Was Utah in the Pac-12 long enough to develop any kind of, I don't want to say rivalry, but I mean, does that get the juices flowing for UCLA fans at all?
Yeah, it should. I mean, I think they remember the 52-45 game here where Joe Williams went crazy, and a bunch of beatdowns at Rice Eccles that they'd like to live down. So, I think that there was enough there. It doesn't have quite the cachet of against USC or Stanford or something like that. But, yeah, it's a nice first game. There's a familiarity to it. If you've been a fan just for the last 20 years or so, I would think you remember some pretty good back and forth between these two teams.
So give us your thoughts on just the top of the Big Ten Conference. Who do you think kind of stands atop and above everybody else in this conference?
Yeah, I mean, Penn State and Ohio State seem to be the big dogs, and the Bruins will play them both. They don't have to play Oregon this year. I think they're probably just slightly beneath that tier. And then it's just a big jumble. I mean, there's, last year Indiana kind of came out of the pack as a team you weren't thinking about. Illinois could be that team this year, but a lot of teams I think that'll finish 7-5 overall, and win whatever it is, 4 games or 5 games in conference. So it's not like it's mediocre. I just think it's competitive. So Penn State, Ohio State, I get it. Like, they've got the most talent, and after that, we'll see if a UCLA or even a USC can make enough noise to be noticed.
Hey, for what it's worth, I know you're all in football mode, but your point guard that you're paying $1 million for, he may be worth it. I watched a lot of him, and I think he'll be pretty good for you.
Yeah, no, everybody's excited about that, and that's the thing. On campus, if you've got the big shot point guard, and they've got that in Donovan Dent, and you got the big shot quarterback, and they've got that in Iamaleava, it's tough to ask for much more than that. So if you're going to pay big money to land two people, I would say a quarterback and a point guard is probably money well spent.
Yep, no doubt. Donovan Dent's a keeper for sure. Hey, thanks so much, Josh. We appreciate it. Have a great call on Saturday, and look forward to catching up again here soon.
You got it, fellas. Be well.
You got it. Josh Lewin, play-by-play voice of UCLA.
I'm expecting the Big 12 to go 2-1 against the Big 10 this year. Only 3 Big 10 games that I think.
Yeah.
That I've got. You got Cincinnati, Nebraska. Should be a win.
Go Cincy.
Big 12.
Yeah.
You got Iowa State, Iowa.
Yeah.
I think Iowa State's got the edge in that.
I do too.
You got Oklahoma State, Oregon.
Yeah, that's going to be Oregon.
That'll be Oregon. And then you got Utah, UCLA. That's a toss-up, but I give Utah the edge.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, and it's a game that Utah absolutely has to have.
Has to have. Like, I can't even begin to express the importance of them getting off to the right start in this season. It is going to be critical for them. Right now, Vegas has Utah favored by 5.5 against UCLA. That's, of course, at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
Yeah.
So that's given Utah quite a bit of benefit of what they've done in the past and what they did in the Pac-12 against UCLA.
It probably won't have the same kind of vibe that Utah fans remembered when going and seeing Ohio State in the Rose Bowl or Penn State in the Rose Bowl. It's going to be a little bit different crowd for that one, but definitely one of the more iconic venues in all of sports.
That game kicks at 9 p.m. on Fox. We'll have all kinds of coverage here on the station. Remember, tomorrow is our Utah preview show, so we jump into it with Frank Dolce. We'll get really deep into Utah-UCLA. You know Frank's going to be all about this game.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, that hits home for him. He used to be an usher in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, Southern Cal kid, so
yeah.
It'll be a great conversation with Frank.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. The Cougars open the season at home at LaBelle Edwards Stadium as they welcome in Portland State. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Woo!
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hope you're all having a great day. It's a Wednesday. It's a hump day, which means it's your Cougar preview show day. We'll get to that coming up at 1:05, and we will break down everything you need to know about Portland. No, not really. But what you need to know about the BYU Cougars going into the season. And then tomorrow, remember, we will then have an opportunity to have your Ute preview show coming up on Thursday, and Frank Dolce will be hanging out with us. By the way, Greg Wrubell will stop by at 2:05. We'll chat with Rubes.
It'll be great to catch up with Greg.
Can you call him Rubes? Are you on that level?
I've called him Rubes a couple times.
Obviously, you are.
No, not to his face. I'll say that.
I don't think he responds real well to it. I think it's okay.
How about Gregors?
I don't think Greg. I think he'd rather Rubes. I think.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I want you to open that segment like that
with Gregors.
Hey, Gregors, let's go.
Oh man,
give us the backstory on Bronco. What? How did that go when you let him off the hook?
He just said, "Okay, thanks." Then he just hung up.
So when you called him back the third time,
well, I had him because apparently they think at Utah State that I'm just going to be calling Bronco nonstop. So they wanted to make sure I did not have his number.
Oh, okay.
So
he calls.
So he called us, yeah, and when I said, yeah, we need to reestablish this connection. You want to call me back? It wasn't me going to call him.
Yeah.
It was he had to call us back. So he's already putting in some work to do that. And he's just like, "This is Bronco."
Yeah. I hated that.
On the
that
third
thing got
time.
interrupted.
On the third time, I was like, "This is."
Yeah, Hans and I are out at
no.
At my hearing center, and I look at Hans like, we got to pull the plug on this, man.
Yeah, it was like we were like 8 minutes into the interview, and we weren't able to hear his first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I
like,
really
this
wanted
is
to
right
hear
away.
it.
I'm like, this is not working.
We know nothing about this team.
Yeah.
Like I want to hear it, and then we tried to reconnect, and then it disconnected, and then it was like
we're going to have to shoot for a landline.
Yeah.
Landline is very helpful.
You know what?
Mr.
I think
Hoffman, help us out here.
When we have the video stream capability of having our guests on via video stream, I bet he will love that and connecting on like Zoom or Teams or whatever we use for that. I think that will be something he will be very excited about.
You're funny. That's good.
More than excited.
Hey, you know what,
In
though?
fact, it was his idea.
It is my mission. Like, look, I like to think that I, for the most part, get along with people. Like, I think, I don't have a lot of enemies out there, at least that I know of. Lloyd, do I? I don't know. If people are talking smack behind my back, that's fine. Just don't tell me about it. But I'd like to think that I'm a pretty easygoing play-by-play guy. I make the life easy for the coach. I don't bombard them with phone calls. I don't bug them about stuff like that.
You don't ask a lot.
I don't. I purposely try to stay out of their business as much as possible because I do not want to be that guy. They got a lot of stuff on their plate. They don't need a chatty play-by-play guy, or, stopping by their office like, "Hey, buddy, what's going on?" I do everything I can to avoid that. It is my mission to have Bronco, to have Bronco look and say, you know what, that's my guy. I can trust that guy. I'm going to win him over. I'm going to win Bronco over. This is going to happen. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to have Bronco Mendenhall look at me and be like, you know what? I can trust that guy.
I believe in you.
Our conversation setting up with working with Utah State was pretty funny. He's like, you guys don't have caller ID, do you? I'm like,
did you say no?
I said no.
Okay.
I was like, no. I said no. I was like, no, I can't see anything.
Is star 69 still a thing?
I don't think it is.
I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to call Bronco. I'm not going to call him unless I have to. Unless it's an interview.
I could see you in a pinch. Like you get arrested in Vegas, you're sitting in a cell and you're like,
hey, Bronco.
Bronco will answer.
Yeah. Bronco, you will not believe the night I've had.
Bronco, I really need your help here.
Help me out, coach.
Look, teach me the lessons later. I just need bail money.
The greatest callback story of all time, though, is Jake Scott. When Larry H. Miller was with us and was doing the weekly interviews, and Jake was producing that show at that time, and Larry Miller called Jake to tell him, I don't know, to arrange something where he was going to come in and do the show with Gordon back in the day. And I guess he left Jake a message, but Jake just saw that it was a missed call from Larry H. Miller. So he's like, oh my gosh, I better call back. So he calls back that number without listening to the message. And if I'm retelling this story wrong, Jake, feel free to call in and correct me. And apparently Larry H. Miller said, don't you ever call me on this number ever again, and just laid into him.
Knowing Jake, he did not
really?
listen to the voicemail.
He didn't listen to the voicemail. It just went bam.
That's Jake. No.
And then he came in, and to Larry H. Miller's credit, he came in and apologized. Actually, he apologized to me because he thought it was me that called him. And he's like, I'm really sorry. I was out of line. I should not have yelled at you like that. I'm like,
who'd you yell at?
You didn't.
Give me the story.
Yeah.
Who'd you yell at? I want details. Oh, I know who you yelled at.
Yeah. Well, let me introduce you to Jake.
Hey, do you remember Ikaika Malo? I guess he was a D-line coach at Utah State.
Yeah.
In the 10-win season in the 2014.
Yep. That was it was before I was doing play-by-play, but I do remember the name and remember him a little bit.
Ikaika Malo?
Yeah.
So, that's the D coordinator for UCLA.
Interesting.
So he went from Utah State to Washington as a D-line coach, and he had some co-DCing that he did at Washington all the way through 21. And then he moved to UCLA during that Washington coaching switch. He goes to UCLA, and he was working special teams and outside linebackers. 23, they put him in as a D-line coach, and then 24, they promote him to defensive coordinator. So Kaika Malo he's been around. He knows this state, of course, really well, but he's been in the coaching circuit since 1997. This is a guy that obviously UCLA really trusts. I mean, they give him the reins to this defense. And I know that Coach mentioned Gary Smith, but there are a couple of dudes on this team.
Yeah. And that's one thing Josh Lewin was like, Gary's a pretty good player, but we got a lot of good players on defense.
They really do. This Keanu Williams, he's a redshirt senior. He's a 4-star recruit. He's a transfer out of Oregon, and he's a spectacular defensive tackle. They got Nico Davlier, who is a 3-star recruit, and he's a senior. He's been around. He came from Arkansas, and he's been around. So I know that the D-line has talent. Now, this D-line is going to be seeing one of the best offensive lines. So I've had a lot of people ask me, well, what are your expectations then? 9 o'clock kick, Utah, UCLA. First of all, my expectations are it's going to be the highlight of the weekend. That is going to be one of the most entertaining, exciting, and important games for both teams.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're both trying to set the standard for the Big Ten and the Big 12. The Big 12 needs Utah to win this. The Big 12 needs
Yeah.
Utah to keep the Big 10 at bay and keep them under their thumb a little bit and say, I know it's cute, but we're going to go 3-1 on the Big 10. The Big 12 should. We just went through the games. They should go 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Oklahoma State pulls out some type of weird Mike Gundy deal and beats Oregon. I doubt it, but let's just.
That would be a hell of a win, and I wouldn't put out of the realm of possibility. But
I know I wouldn't either.
I certainly wouldn't put any money on Oklahoma State.
Well, we know that Gundy replaced a lot of coaches, took a couple of coaches out of this state, which kind of bummed me out.
I know, one in particular.
Yeah, two.
Well, yeah, two. That's right.
DJ and Coach Coop.
Yeah.
But I fully expect this Utah-UCLA game to be owned by the Utah front. I want 250 yards rushing. I want very few pressures. And I want this front to be able to set the expectation for Devin Dampier. Because I think it's first impressions for Devin Dampier. Whatever you do against UCLA and whatever pressure or whatever anxiety he feels in the pocket against UCLA, he's going to take that into the remainder of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I want Utah to make sure that they set a nice front standard for him to know that he can relax. And going against Cal Poly, he can relax and start to really work on the timing. And then when they go to Laramie, he can just thump them and relax with timing. And then that opener against Texas Tech. He trusts that front because you did it against UCLA. It was impeccable against Cal Poly. We did a great job of it on the road against Wyoming. And now you got the big dog matchup for a Big 12 kickoff against Texas Tech. This front has to be as solid as the expectations are. If they underperform against UCLA, then it's kind of like, oh, now what?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't hang your hat on a returning 5 for Utah? They couldn't get a rush lane to open up. They couldn't set a pocket. They couldn't set a 5-man pocket. They had to go to extra protections using chips off running backs, and they had to keep tight ends in for protections just to set a pocket. They were only running 2- and 3-man routes and 2- and 3-man route trees and systems. That's trash. That better not happen.
Yeah.
You better be able to set the pocket with 5 and then force UCLA to be like, well, we can't get the pressure anyway, so let's drop. So then they drop, and then it's like, all right, here we go. Let's go to work. We're going to grind them on the ground.
There's been a lot of games that we've seen out of University of Utah where that first game against that Thursday FCS game that Utah usually plays against Southern Utah or Portland State or whoever, and I remember that game. I think they were playing Southern Utah, and they had that D lineman that ended up playing in the NFL for a little bit. Southern Utah had a really good team, and Garrett Bowles was on that team, and they looked really iffy out of the gate. And then by the end of the year, they had it going, and it was smooth sailing. Garrett Bowles gets drafted in the first round. But I remember that first game, everybody's ringing the alarm like, oh, this is a problem. If you have that kind of game against UCLA, you will lose that game. Yeah. UCLA is capable of beating you.
And you're on the road.
So this is not a game 1 Thursday night FCS warm-up game. You have to treat it as the biggest game of your year because, frankly, it is. It sets the tone for the rest of the season. If Dampier struggles, Utah only runs the ball for 115 yards, and it's more the same of what we saw last year, everybody's going to be on DEFCON 1 about the Utes. You have to set the stage really fast with an emphatic victory.
Well, I liked what Kyle said in his media availability yesterday. I thought it was poignant. There was a great question that came from somebody. They asked Kyle, what's the difference, opening up with UCLA? And he said, well, it wakes you up real quick.
Yeah.
So they've practiced with a different demeanor. They've practiced with a different sense of urgency. They've practiced knowing that it's out of the gates in a big-time venue against a familiar opponent that is backed against the wall, that knows that they need to get this opening win. It is the perfect opportunity to put smelling salts underneath your entire team's nose. So I do think we're going to get Utah's best out of the gates against UCLA. I'm not talking about best of what they can get through the year because they'll get better through the year. Mm-hmm. But I'm talking about Kyle Whittingham's knowing it. and this coaching staff has known it. Coach Beck knows that UCLA out of the gates in that venue, and so they've practiced with that urgency. He was talking about Bloody Tuesday yesterday, and he was like, yeah, it is, it's physical. And he said, we're also going to keep the pads on tomorrow, which is today. So they've got pads on today. And then they'll probably start to back off just a little bit on Thursday, a nice walkthrough on Friday, and have their pumps all primed and ready for Saturday. But, all of that stuff, I put all of that stuff aside for the University of Utah. I think that Utah's got the talent to be a 10-11 wins team. I think they've got the talent to be in the Big 12 championship game. I think that they've got the talent to impress and surprise the country. Now, what does Utah need? Utah needs luck to go their way. They haven't had it.
Yep.
And it's time. And these things are cyclical, man.
Yeah.
And I'm talking primarily about injuries, Lloyd.
We talked about last year. We thought last year was going to be the year they were going to avoid them because they had so many issues with injuries.
The year before that, but then it was stacked with that year. But it is cyclical, and we see this. We see programs go through it. We see them go on these crazy waves of terrible injuries, but then recovery, and then they all take advantage of this terrible scenario to get better with their strength and conditioning and how we're going to proceed through camp. It's time. And I'm going a little bit further with luck. I'm also talking about the way the ball bounces. Because the ball bounces a certain way every now and then. It bounced pretty well for BYU last year, pretty well. Yeah. Now, there were two bounces in particular that were trash that kept BYU from a 12 or 13 win season. That's what's insane is everybody wants to look at how lucky BYU got in a few wins. I look at how unlucky they got in the losses it was just trash luck in their losses. Well, I think Utah, it's time to have a couple bounces, a couple picks, a couple balls go off the foot of a punter, a punter delayed, a bad snap here and there, some things that go your way to give you the momentum.
A Gatorade bucket, not near the sideline.
To go the other way.
Lloyd, you're just making every Utah fan want to crash their car right now.
A Gatorade bucket in the place of Nico instead of one of your guys.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like you need that old solid luck to come back for Kyle Whittingham.
I mean, there's some years, and I think you felt it a little bit last year when you're calling a game and you're like, that had no business going our way. That had no business going the way that it did. And you're like, it might be one of those years this year.
Yeah.
And conversely, there's some times where you see something, you're like, oh, it's going to be one of those years this year.
You know who turns the tides? The quarterback can turn those tides.
Oh, yeah.
And there were just a couple of times, and I know people give Jake Retzlaff a hell of a time. They just do. They give him a hell of a time. Oh, he was a mediocre quarterback at best, and he couldn't do what the honor code required him to do. Good riddance. He's gone. Oh, man.
Careful.
There were a couple of real clutch moments that I saw from Jake that I 100%, when I watched Devin Dampierre film, I know he's going to deliver, in that Texas Tech game. Fourth quarter, down by 3, need at least a field goal to tie. You get the ball on the 25, and Devin Dampierre is staring down a 2-minute drill. I know he can get you there. And I know he's the kind of guy that he'll at least get you to field goal range. He may, inside a 2-minute drill, find a nice over-the-top pass to Dallin Bentley and make this a big day for you.
Yeah.
Like those are the expectations I placed on Devin. That's not hope. That's the expectations I'm planting on him. Now, I plant those expectations on him with the understanding of who's blocking for him. If it was just him, I would be like, well, let's set a more realistic expectation. I can plant those expectations because I'm like, I know who's rushing the ball.
Yeah.
I know who's blocking. I don't really know who's catching, except for the tight end. But I've got high expectations that he will win, and he'll switch that momentum and that luck for you. I think he's going to do it.
Yeah. Is Bear Bachmeier that guy? We'll find out.
That one I don't know.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like that one we don't know. And he very well could be, even as a true freshman. We just don't know.
We're both the hands up emoji right now. Like, I don't know. We'll see.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up next, what you may have missed right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
It's a trip to the Rose Bowl for the Utes as they open the season this Saturday at UCLA. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, it's a Win Ticket Wednesday coming up Saturday, September 6th at the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. It's going to be these guys, Offspring, with special guest Jimmy Eat World and Newfound Glory. If you want those tickets, be calling number 12, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. Get those tickets right now. All right, what you may have missed right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hans, I saw this story, and I was going to work it into Whole World News, but I knew that this would resonate with you.
Okay.
And so I wanted to get to it real quick. I'm going to go to the world of baseball. I know you're a new baseball fan, but a team that's just been tearing it up lately has been the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, yeah. Best
Record in the league right now. And one of the reasons why is that their manager, Pat Murphy, is, he feels like it's a good habit to eat something in the middle of a game. And the problem is there's not a lot of food available in the dugout. So he does essentially the what's the guy's name? Napoleon Dynamite thing and sticks food in his pockets.
Okay.
And, this is his latest meal.
I like a lot of different things during the game. There's pancake. I got a little pocket pancake right here that I munch on. They're wonderful. You want some?
Wow, those are delicious. Pizza, bagels, what else do you keep in your pocket?
Whatever fits.
So remember,
whatever fits and isn't saucy.
Whatever, yeah. And he says he has put pizza in his pocket, but he has to fold it up like a sandwich, so that and it has to be cold. If it's hot, then he's going to have a problem. But he takes cold pizza, folds it up in such a way that it won't get pizza sauce all over him.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch this. You said this is Milwaukee's manager?
Milwaukee Brewers manager.
No kidding.
And so at this point, now the ball club, the Milwaukee Brewers, are now selling at their convenience stands pocket pancakes. It's essentially you can get 4 pancakes sold at America First Family Field during the games, especially Sunday games. 4 pocket pancakes, your choice of maple syrup or strawberry compote dipping sauce for $4.99. You can also get a double chicken and pancake pocket pack, $7.99. 2 pancakes stuffed with a chicken tender, topped with chopped bacon and a maple syrup drizzle.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
That actually sounds good. I played with a guy that would keep candy in his waistband during a football game. In fact, it was Rob Morris. I'll just say it because, Rob will be okay with it.
Yeah.
But like during a game in the huddle, I could say, "Hey, Rob, you got any candy?" Rob would take candy from his waistband. He's got a little pocket that he had, I don't know, it was on his game pants or something, and he would give me some Skittles or Snickers or something. And it was like, oh, okay, depending on what the heat was.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was better than others, but
yeah.
Rob always kept candy on him during the whole game. Always.
Wow.
Stocked up.
So there you go. Apparently the Milwaukee Brewers can reach down in the pocket and find some food.
I think that for a lot of people, it just helps control the nerves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It just helps control the nerves. I know with Rob, I think it was more of a nervous tick than it was anything else, just to kind of help him relax. Oh, yeah, like I got my candy on me. I guarantee this dude, and Milwaukee's the first to 80.
Oh, yeah. They're killing it.
They're doing really well. So whatever he's doing, you just keep letting him do it.
Keep eating those pancakes. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.